Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Star card. The Star is that divine energy that's trying to create of you the best magician that you can be. Okay? The ability for you to understand yourself and understand your path. Asking the questions, who am I and why am I here? What am I made of? And what am I supposed to do? Okay. This is a card of spiritual insight, spiritual revelation. This is the card that says, if I let the spiritual light in, and I look inside, and I feel what's going on in here, and I pay attention to what's inside, that spiritual light will help me to clear out my blockages, unravel the knots of karma, show me my complexes, show me the buttons inside, And then that light will be able to spill out from me and illuminate the world, but also illuminate the path that you're supposed to travel. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. What is helping you or hindering you on this path of discovering your path, right? We've got the Hermit, an 8 of Wands, the Hanged Man. We've got a Queen of Swords. We've got the Death card, the Transformation card, the Rebirth card, right? Over here we have a 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups. We have a Prince of Wands and a Knight of Pentacles. Very interesting. Fire to earth. I want to point that out. We have the heart and the mind here, which are kind of saying, look at me. There's something going on inside of you that needs your attention, that you need to pay attention to. You need to focus on. Okay, let's do a mystery card. This is going to be a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with our little octopus friend, the 8 of Tentacles, right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments, okay? Let's take a look around the room. We've got 4 major arcana going straight forward. That you are on this path of evolution. You are on this path of change. Okay? Your path will be revealed to you. You will transform yourself and your life into what they are meant to be. You've got fire and fire, you've got water, you've got air, and more air, and you got a little bit of earth. Okay? So all of this energy is resulting in you getting this. Let's start at the end. Why not? It's my program. I can do that if I want. This is the Knight of Pentacles. The result of all of this is that you're looking forward. You're looking at the future and you're understanding what your path is supposed to be. You're understanding that there is kind of this almost mystical goal at the end, right? We're sort of looking at the top of the mountain, or we're trying to. We're trying to see what the end goal is. It may be hazy. It may be misty, covered in clouds. So if you look at this card, you can't see the top of the mountain, right? But it's there. It's up there somewhere. We understand the journey that we have to take. I know who I am and why I'm here. And I'm looking at my path, and we're getting ready now to get started. Okay? So the end result of all of this, the culmination of the rest of this energy, is that you're identifying your path and you're setting off on that journey toward your future, toward who you are, where you are, and what you are doing down the road, and what that road is. Okay? This is kind of the result of all of these other energies. But where we're starting right now is the Star and the Hermit. I think that we have to turn ourselves inside out to find out what really is going on in here. We have to pay attention. If we want to find our path, our purpose, who we are, why we're here, we got to let the light in. Well, the Hermit is the one that is letting the light in. The Hermit is the one that's saying, okay, I got to turn my attention inward, and I got to start looking at what's going on inside. Because that light is coming in now, and I'm going to let it show me what's what in here. Who I am, who I'm not, what I'm good at, what my history has been, and try to identify what are these unconscious programs that are running, what are these complexes, what are the buttons that get pushed, what's the karma that I have to try to unravel, what are the anchors that I've got to cut away, okay, what do I need to let go of to move forward, okay, how do I need to grow, what am I supposed to grow into? I think we're asking all these questions. And the Hermit is trying to resist the outward stimuli. Okay, in other words, you're not listening to your friends, your family, you're not listening to the world or society, you're not listening to the radio or the, anybody else telling you what you should be doing. You've got to figure that out for yourself. Okay, so the Hermit is kind of realizing that no one's going to tell me what to do. I can't let anybody tell me what to do. I can't go to somebody and say, hey, what am I supposed to do with my life? Nobody can tell you that except for your own soul, your own star. Okay? Other people can perhaps tell you how to discover that, can kind of show you the way, can say, you know what, we do that by looking within. We do that by trying to pay attention to the discord that's happening inside of us. Why do we feel the way we feel? Why do we think the things that we're thinking? Well, first we have to even pay attention to that. The Hermit's a card of introspection. The Hermit is a card of saying, I'm taking a time out from all the external stimuli so that I can pay attention to what's going on inside of me. Right? The Hermit is like skin level and below. Yeah. And it's a physical energy. This is something I think we feel in our bodies, we feel in our hearts and in our minds. Okay. And so the Hermit is paying less attention to what's out there, paying more attention to what's in my body, my heart, and my mind. In order to find the light, in order to allow that light, like we said at the beginning, to go through us and show us what's going on. Okay. So the challenge for you right now is to sort of shield yourself from the opinions of others, from the ideas of others, from what anybody's telling you you are, or what you should be, or what you should be doing. Okay? Nobody can make those decisions for you, and I think if we're allowing our life to be molded in that way, allowing ourselves to be molded in that way, which is a little bit of our hanged man energy, then of course we're going to feel the discord in our heart and mind. We're going to feel a 5 of swords, a 5 of cups. I'm surprised we don't have a 5 of pentacles here. Okay. Because the hanged man in the recent past, to me, feels like it's an identification. It's the realization that I've been living my life for other people. I've been living other people's lives. I haven't been doing my own thing. I haven't been sort of, I haven't found myself and I haven't realized what my purpose is. Right? The hanged man is kind of like, I've been suffering and I've felt like I don't know why that is. We realize that we feel this hanged man kind of energy because we haven't connected with our true selves. Okay, so this was a period of time in your past, however recent it may be, I don't know. I think there was a realization very recently, okay, that our fate does not define us. There is this fate versus destiny kind of thing. And to me, the hanged man is us succumbing to our fate. This is the world that I was born into. This is the family that I was born into, the body I was born into, the genetics, the society, the culture, the time, the location that I was born into. And that has molded me and shaped me in a certain way. That's our fate, right? But that doesn't control us. That doesn't say, well, now I just have to be that person and do that thing. It kind of takes away all choice. It takes away all power. It takes away everything. It's just a pure passive energy, this one. The Hanged Man is a complete surrender and acquiescence to our fate. Now, this is the body I was born into. I just have to accept it. This is the time and the place that I was born into. I just have to accept it. This is the way I was raised. This is just who I am. Nothing I can do about it. Yeah, sure, it's true. I mean, we can't change any of that. But that doesn't define us completely. Okay? So, in a lot of ways, the hermit is looking within to try to find all the ways that we have been victims of our past, right? Because the hanged man in this past position, these are like ghosts that are coming back to make decisions for us. Ghosts that come back to control our lives and to, to make decisions and run programs for us. Okay. And so this is a period of time where we were kind of like living the wrong life. And that's confirmed by this over here with the fives. The friction, the turmoil, the recognition that something is changing in us. And not only that, but there's been this anxiety, right? This Eight of Wands underneath the surface. Inside of us, in our body, in a very visceral way, we've been feeling ill at ease. We've been feeling angst or anger or anxiety. All these words kind of sound the same, right? Been feeling something. There's been tension, turmoil. There's been something brewing. Something's getting stirred up inside of us, and it kind of gives us the sweaty palms and the kind of, we're like, we got the jazz hands. We're tap dancing on the shag carpet. We don't know why exactly. Well, I think we're saying, well, I've got to look at myself and find out why. The opposite of the hermit would be somebody that's ignoring the internal state and distracting ourselves with things out here. I just got to watch more television. I got to have more candy bars and stuff and whatever, right? I got to eat more ice cream so I can forget all about this. And so what you're doing is the opposite of that. You are looking within. You're trying to ignore all those potential distractions, all the ways that we could temporarily calm down this feeling by doing something outside of ourselves. Okay? And these could be healthy things. We could be, well, I'm gonna try to ignore how I feel inside. I'm just gonna go to the gym more. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. I'm gonna read a book. I'm going to exercise. I'm gonna study. I'm going to do some meditation. But even meditation, it's gonna bring you back inside. This Eight of Wands will always be in there, even when we're trying to distract ourselves by something outside of us. Maybe something, again, productive and healthy. Well, I'm just gonna focus on work. I'm just going to focus on school. I'm just going to go build a barn or play with the dog or whatever. This is still going to be there. This is that angst or that anxiety, that restless soul energy. Okay? And the hermit is saying, okay, fine. I'll look at this feeling and see if I can get some answers. Okay. Now, I think the Hanged Man is a history of suffering and sacrifice, sacrificing your own soul energy for the sake of something else, whether it's the sake of society, the sake of family, parents, friends, the sake of other things, right? This is the card that says we've been deprioritizing ourselves for too long. And this could be the idea that, well, yeah, of course I don't feel good, but I have to work all day, every day, because I got a family to support. And they're more important than I am. Right? And, well, trust me, I know what this is like too. Right? We make excuses, yeah, but sometimes excuses are valid. I can't prioritize myself. I can't look at myself and figure out what I need because I got to provide for other people. Okay, so we're sacrificing ourselves for the sake of our responsibilities. And that's a very noble thing, right? That you don't have time to look at your own angst or anxiety or issues because I just got to keep working and keep doing what I need to do to make sure everybody's well taken care of. Yeah. This is the extreme self-sacrifice. But if you continue sacrificing yourself, you won't be able to provide for your responsibilities, friends, family, your pets, your plants, your people. Anyway. Okay, so there's really no way of escaping this. Eventually, we have to look inside and see, okay, what's going on? Why do I feel this way and what do I need to do about it? What is my soul trying to tell me? Okay, I think a lot of us go through life saying, I don't have time to figure out my spiritual purpose because I got to have a job, I got to pay the bills because I got kids. I got pets, plants, people. I've got things that need me in life. I don't have time for this, mystical, magical, woo-woo kind of stuff. I've got real world problems, But I think that this will grow. This feeling will continue to expand until it's not allowing you to perform those responsibilities and those tasks anyway. So this will eventually have to be addressed. Okay. And the Queen of Swords at the top here, this is your ability to look at it in a way that is a little bit detached from it. Because when you're if you're looking inside and you feel this, especially with this stuff here, this is anxiety, right? When you feel this and you're immersed in this, it's just it's panic. It's like you've got caught in an undertow and you're just sort of spiraling down. And shout out to Maynard and the Gang, by the way, underrated album, a wonderful album. But when you're in the middle of it, you're not really thinking clearly. When you're in the middle of it, all you really can think of is, how do I get out of here? We're not able to sit back and be like, oh, let's think about it. Let's figure out, what does it mean? Why is it here? Why do I feel this way? No, it's just get out. Get to safety as quick as you can. Okay, so we need a little bit of that detachment. We need the ability to look at what's going on, look at how we're feeling, acknowledge it, pay attention to it, give it space to feel, not ignore it, not push it aside, but also we don't want to jump right in the middle of it because then our only instinct is going to be, how do I get to safety? It's not going to help us. So this card's a little bit of that objective detachment, okay? That we could step a little bit outside of our thoughts and feelings and our anxieties, close enough that we can feel it, that we're not ignoring it, we're not running the other way, but we're not right in the thick of it either. Okay? And so we're able to acknowledge it and have a conversation with that and figure out what's it telling us? What are some things that we have to let go of? What are some things that we have to what are some things that we have to adjust? Do we have to make some pivots in life? Do we have to sort of reposition ourselves? Do we have to reprioritize? Okay, have we been, or why? Why? I think we have been, but why have we been? Why have we been neglecting the things that our soul really wants for us? Okay, why are we neglecting who we are and why we're here? Well, because I have other people to support. I have to work myself to the bone because other people are relying on me, right? Well, yes, of course. But why do we feel that we have to do that to such an extreme that we're going to end up driving ourselves right into the ground anyway? Okay, so this is really the honesty. We're taking the mask off. We're not going to hide from it. We're not going to we're not going to get so close to it that it sort of burns us and then we just want to run the other way. We're going to be very honest. We're going to look at it and we're going to be truthful with ourselves and get to the bottom of things. And I think just by looking at it and sort of letting those, stirring the pot a little bit, we're going to be able to see, when you're making a gumbo, you want to go and you want to stir it. You want to see what's in there. You want to get everything mixed up because everything tends to settle at the bottom. Right, all the andouille, all the shrimp, all the chicken, all the good vegetables, right? It just settles. So you go in, you stir the pot. right? We want to analyze things. We want to look at it. We want to stir the pot, see what's in there, and see what we can learn from those things, okay? And in the immediate future, what we have is the Death card, which is progress, transformation, transmutation. It's our ability to let go of the past and to move toward the future. Okay? It's our ability to realize that, yeah, life, and for one thing, I think that if we continue on the path of the Hanged Man, this is literally going to be the future. Okay? This is literally going to say, well, we can't sustain this. Okay, there's going to be an end to our ability. Well, I'm sacrificing because I have to pay the bills for my family, right? Well, yes, but if we get here, literally, then we're not paying the bills anymore. You get what I'm saying? So we have to sort of get in between that and say, okay, something needs to change. Especially when we have the fives. The fives is saying change is happening. But the Death card is also the card of rebirth. Okay, so to me it feels like it is a baptism, that we can emerge from this Hanged Man period into an attitude of victory. This now looks like the fire dancer of Dave Matthews Band, right? Shout out to Dave and the gang, especially Carter, my favorite. Best drummer ever. Emerging from this passive period, this is a kind of a fire dancer, right? And that was kind of a joke, but it makes sense. Going from this pure passive energy to a fire, an active dancing fire energy, right? And fire is an energy that is, it's always in this constant state of transformation, right? Fire is immediately obvious change. It is like, it's burning fuel, and it's always kind of creating itself in the moment. Fire doesn't stand still. Fire does not, it does not pause. Fire doesn't rest. It's in a constant state of flux, a constant state of transformation. Whereas with the water energy, the pure passive water energy, and the Death card too, is sort of water energy, that's slow change that takes place over the course of time. So we may not even be realizing how we've been doing things, right? We may not really realize the long-term effects because it doesn't feel like we're doing anything. It feels like things just are continuing on and every day is the same, and there's no real change taking place. Okay, it's kind of more of the same. This is a long process of change over the course of time. But what I think we're trying to do is get lit up. We're trying to turn our passive Hanged Man into the active fire dancer, right? I love that now. I'm going to start using that all the time, the fire dancer. We're going from this pure passive state where it feels like nothing really changes to a very active, fiery state where we are constantly in this state of transformation, and we realize that every moment we are becoming, we are growing, every moment is different. In the Death card, this is like you're going to the gym every day, but you don't see any change in your muscles, right? The fire energy would have us believe, have us pay attention to that idea that on a, microscopic, level, everything is constantly changing, right? Inside of everything is that fire of spirit, right? Everything is constantly changing. You go to the gym every single day and you're doing massive, massive effects on your body. We don't notice them when we look in the mirror. We're like, my muscles are still the same. But there's a lot that's happening. Okay. So even the smallest effort has enormous consequences, right? And if we can engage in this work, because that's what the anxiety is. It's the feeling like I got to do something, but I don't know what to do. Well, just by looking at something, we're helping to nudge the river in our direction, in the right direction. Okay? I think we'll leave the Hanged Man like that. So I think this is really about an active, some active work, right? And the Hanged Man, I think, is also, with the Death card, is we're realizing the things that we have to let go of. So it's kind of things that we have to stop doing, and also things that we have to start doing in order to direct the course of change in a direction, in a way that's going to feel more in line with our purpose and our soul and our spiritual energy. Okay? Trying to find out who I am and why I'm here, and then start making both active and passive changes, right? Positive and negative changes, removing things and then adding better things, in order to kind of push that river a little bit, to help it go, to be a co-creator with the universe. See, this is the process of change. It's the nature of nature. Things are always changing, right? We're either on board with that, partners with this energy, or we're just victims of it. Okay, let's talk about the path of the serpent. And as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. The readings are totally free. So your general energy is the Five of Swords. There's confusion. There's no order in the chaos. Okay? Intellectually, mentally, I don't know the right answer. I don't know where to go. My mind is stressed out. Okay? And when we have mental stress, a little bit of mental stress is good. We've got to challenge ourselves, right? But when it's coupled with emotional stress and anxiety, when these three, this is a very potent combination. This is really Spirit's way of saying, you got to turn your perception inside and look at yourself, look at what you're doing. And what do we need to do differently? How is our life progressing? Okay, even in those imperceptible ways. Yeah. So the Five of Swords by itself is saying, well, there's a problem and I'm trying to figure out the answer. I'm putting a little bit of stress on my mind. It's helping my mind grow, right? But with the combination here, it kind of feels like our life is in a constant state of stress. And so we're not growing in a way that we really want to grow. Does that make sense? A little bit of stress is good. If it's intentional, if we're aware of it, right? And we know where it's coming from and it's for a purpose. Like I'm trying to do a math problem, right? I'm stressing my brain on math because I'm getting better at math. I'm growing my brain, right? But when we have this underlying state of stress and anxiety that we haven't even acknowledged or looked at, that we tend to run the other way when we start to feel it, this is change in a very bad direction. Okay, so we're starting to look at this. Anytime we get a 5, it's a way of saying, hey, look at me. So the mind is stressed out about stuff. You may be short-tempered recently, lately, may have been just more confused, difficulty concentrating, feeling more fatigued, feeling like we're sort of forgetting words or mixing words up, that maybe our brain is going like too fast, our thoughts are coming too fast. This is the mind's way of saying, hey, look at me, okay? And the heart as well. And your emotions, your heart is saying, hey, look at me. The cups, the water energy saying, hey, look at me. Look at your relationships. Look at the disappointment that you feel in your relationship. And see, we have a connection with water and water, right? So I feel like there has been a reluctance to look at our relationships and how we really feel about them. This is your emotional body. It's a way of saying, hey, look at me. It's a card of disappointment. It's a card of saying, I wish things could have been different, that I want something that's not here, right? This is the feeling like something should be here, but it's not. And I think it's a pleasure. It's a love. It's a satisfaction. It's a reciprocity. It's a feeling of appreciation. If you've been this hanged man because, well, it's the right thing to do, you've got to sacrifice yourself for the good of your family or your company or whatever it is, the good of the world, your emotional body doesn't feel good about that. Okay? We have to be able to look at this and admit that, yeah, I'm stressed out, I'm not happy, and I have this underlying anxiety that up till now, I've been trying not to look at it, but now I'm looking at it. Okay? Because what we really want, but what our obstacle is long-term commitment and progress over the course of time. The fear here is that I think the fear is really two ways of looking at the same thing. If we look at the anxiety, and we look at how we think and how we feel, we look at the stress, then it's deflating our energy, right? That we're going to sort of lose the momentum, because this is the card of consistency, of perseverance, of tenacity, of saying, I'm going to keep going no matter what, that we have this momentum. And so part of the fear is that, well, if I turn my vision inward and I look at myself, it's going to bring the car to a stop. And I don't want that because people are relying on me, But then the other fear is that if we don't, If we don't look at the problems, something's going to break down. The car's going to come to a screeching halt anyway. Because what we really want is to be able to continue our journey for as long as we possibly can with a relatively consistent level of energy, feeling good, feeling robust, having a zest for life. It takes a lot more fuel to start from zero and get back up to your top speed or your cruising speed. You know, it takes a lot more fuel, a lot more effort to go from 0 to 55 miles an hour. It's easier to just stay at 55 miles an hour. Well, if I just ignore the problem, then I can just stay at 55 miles an hour. Yeah, but something in the car is going to break. Sometimes you got to pull the car over and look for where that rattle is coming from. You know, because that's what the 5s are. That's what the 8 is too. Something's rattling, you know, in the car, and we're just choosing, nope, I don't hear it. I'm just going to keep going. If I just ignore it, everything will be fine until something breaks off and the car just comes to a grinding halt anyway. It's going to save you a lot of effort in the long run to pull over now, find out what the rattles are, figure out what we got to do, what we got to change, how we need to live life differently, what new choices we need to make, how we might have to realign ourselves with ourselves. The reason why the car's rattling is because, well, this isn't who you are and this isn't where you're supposed to be going, right? There's something not right about this. It's kind of like your body, your heart, and your mind. It's their way of saying, this doesn't feel right. This isn't, something needs to change here, right? So our final outcome is the Knight of Pentacles, that we have stopped. We have pulled the car over and we're looking at the future and we're thinking, where is this river flowing? Is this who I want to be, where I want to be, and what I want to be doing? I think the 5s and the 8 are saying no. So then we're looking at a new future. We're having a new vision. Who do I want to be? Where do I want to be? And what do I want to be doing? What am I supposed to be doing? Who am I and why am I here? I'm having that vision of the future. And then we get back in the car and we get on that path. We start driving in that direction. And these rattles are going to go away. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. I don't know what this is. Maybe Wheel of Fortune, maybe the Chariot. Okay, because this river of change is flowing. Okay, no matter what, it's flowing. So we have to look and say, do I like where it's going? If not, we can do some things to sort of nudge the river a little bit so we can get back on course. It's kind of like you're driving with one wheel off-road on the shoulder of the road and you wonder why the road's bumpy. Well, it's because you're not quite aligned with the road, with the smooth pavement, you know. I'm not sure what this card's going to be. If you have a prediction, though, please put it in the comments. The star. Well, of course it's the star again, right? Because we're realigning with our star. Star and star, right? I would watch the Aquarius reading if I were you, by the way. This is, you know, we're realigning ourselves with our spiritual purpose, with who we are, with why we're here. Some of these rattles are going to go away. New rattles might appear later on down the road. Well, then it's just time for more introspection. Sometimes we sort of stray off the road a little bit and we don't realize. And that's okay. All right? We just have to try to reharmonize. Sometimes the things go out of phase. And then we say, no, getting back on track. Getting back in line with my purpose here. I love this. I think this is a really strong confirmation. We're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner, and there's a link down below. New readings for Libra on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.